We are in this together.
You have gifts that I don't have, and I have gifts that you don't have.
That we must see. Now is the time, because it's when we all get together that we will make the changes that we must make. We are the world.
Welcome to Malcolm and We, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com, a streaming portal leading you into the wonderful world of Zoomcasting. Anyway, guys, welcome aboard, as I have my a co-host, Yana Larson, and are you this Angel? Are you the CEO of We the World?
Essentially, I'm the assistant director, but acting as the executive director.
Okay, and we have Angel Fullerton. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ayana, do the introductions. Say who we are.
Well, we're the fabulous trio today. Malcolm Berman leading us on a fine new project that we're doing in collaboration with We the World. And Angel is our next to Callum, in addition to Callum, another whiz person that knows how to do everything, leading We the World. Hopefully not just off into the sunset, but onto new and better things. And I'm Yana, and I also go by Jana, and I'm the Human Resources Officer, and I organize the volunteers, and I'm the coordinator of the Economic Justice Campaign. And we are getting ready for our Giving Tuesday campaign to try and raise some money, and talking about the new changes that we're doing at We the World as we move into this next adventure.
Yeah, Angel, tell us about your connection to We the World, and when you came aboard, and why you came aboard, and what you hope to do.
Right. So at We the World, I'm actually the mystery child. Nobody knows when I showed up. I don't remember. I started out as just signing up for their newsletter and to see what was going on, figure out what they were all about. It has to be at least 10 years. So somewhere around there. So I started out just signing up for the newsletter, and then I saw volunteer opportunities, and I started to get in on those volunteer meetings and learn more about We the World and what they were doing. And then eventually I started working very closely with Rick Olfick, who is the founder. He's done lots of amazing things with We the World. And we just kept going from there until here we are today, and making big changes and trying to keep up with all the chaos in the world as we're trying to work to resolve a lot of the issues going on, the global issues, and just mobilize everybody so we can create some social change and actually get some things done to improve everybody's lot in life. So,
well, how do you go about doing this? I mean, people talk a lot, but you guys actually do something.
Well, saving the world is not easy, that's for sure.
Right. We cannot do it alone, that's for sure.
It takes a lot of people willing to jump in and do whatever they can. Some people are all good for action, and some people just want to do a little, and some people want to do a lot, and we're happy to have them help in any way they can, whether they're with a major organization and want to partner with us so that we can, instead of being all these silos out there trying to reinvent the wheel, we can gather together and be, a strength in numbers. And some are people working on their passions in whatever area that they are in. Those are our campaign facilitators, and everything in between. So,
yeah, can you tell the audience of the? I mean, my primary function here is communications. I mean, basically, what I want to do is tell the world, the audience out there, what We the World does and how they could become part of it. So Angel, take over and let us know what you think your primary function is as far as getting different groups involved.
Right. So we have a motto here and kind of how we operate. We inspire, inform, and involve. That's how we pretty much do everything that we do. It has to be inspirational. We have to inform the public about what's going on, factual information, um, and find ways for people to get involved. We also do that through a process that we call open architecture. So we don't really have like a set way that we do things because there's multiple ways to solve a problem. So we have an open platform that allows people to explore solutions so that they can start working towards, a more massive scale of global change, and to give them the tools and the resources to help like experiment with those things. So yeah, that's
And that's really great for youth, which is the population we really want to reach out to, because young people, I was one once, and I
still
remember
are.
being at heart, being very idealistic and wanting to do something, but how do you do it? I remember, this is one of my favorite stories. I don't think Angel knows this one either, but I remember being in um, 7th grade, and my family was very involved with our church, and I had this really great Sunday school teacher, and I wanted to make money in the summer, and yes, I was babysitting, but I really wanted to work for the Parks and Recreation Department in Boulder, Colorado, because that's where I was living. And I thought it would be really great to be out there, doing gardening and working with, the guys did that. I mean, maybe I couldn't move the huge boulders, but I could help plant flowers. I could help with cleanup and all that. Well, guess what? Girls aren't allowed to do it. Boys can, but girls can't. And I just thought that was my early day of being a women's liber. And so my teacher said, "Well, that's a really great project. Why don't you start a petition?" And I thought, "Oh yeah, why don't I start a petition?" So I started a petition at my school, and there was another girl in my class that started it at her junior high, and she didn't get very far because she wasn't as inspired as I was, but I was, and so I got lots of signatures, and then I took it to the city hall to bring in my complaint about why girls, I think girls should be allowed to do it too. And eventually my mom went in with me to had this appointment with the superintendent, and he thought, well, this is all very cute and nice, but no. And anyway, long story short, I ended up keeping on babysitting and volunteering in the library. But now well, it didn't take 40 years, but now girls can be on the Parks and Recreation Department and earn money. But the idea is, where I'm going with that is that giving a place for youth to be able to be involved and put their passion somewhere. And like, if they're like really, want to help women like I did when I was young, there would be a place for them to be involved and get involved, and we would help, and so that they had a place to do something that could actually mean something.
Yeah.
So I think that's what We the World offers for everyone.
Well, that's a good start. But from what I see back in the old days, what it is people that petition for things that actually even civil rights, equality. That was now our whole objective is to save the world, because it's not only when people have equal opportunity to do things, is whether we're going to have a planet to do it on. I mean, we will have a planet. There will be, forests. There will be certain animals. There will be certain, the Earth will be here, but will be able to be inhabited by the human race or
Right.
animal race, because what's happening now with the climate change, with the carbon footprint, it seems we may not have an Earth to live in. I mean, I live in California. And I mean, right now the forest fires are a year-round thing. It used to be, a certain part of the year there were forest fires. Now we have warnings from January to December.
Yeah,
Same
the
thing
fire
with
season, it's like in Colorado too. Same
yeah,
thing.
same thing with earthquakes. No, well, no, earthquakes, not really. The hurricanes.
Yeah, and the rising sea level. Pretty soon
Right.
California's gonna be.
Soon there might not be a California.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I know. I mean, there's just so much. Where do you start?
there was no joke when I first got out here, which was in the 80, that was in the 80s, early 80s, where Howard Hughes was buying property in Las Vegas. And the big joke is, why is he buying there? Because he always wanted waterfront property. And it's happening. I mean, a lot of the islands that we have now will not be here anymore in the 5, 10 years. Parts of Manhattan, on the lower Manhattan, they're building up breakwaters.
Florida, they're going to rebuild on, ocean. I mean, they're going to
Yeah,
try and
they have to have
rebuild.
seawalls there, and
Yeah, it's crazy. And, and we've been warned forever. I mean, if you're an environmentalist, who hasn't read Rachel Carson's Silent Spring? Who hasn't, I mean, I was in the 70s reading that for a class I was in when I was in college. And of course, I was already aware because growing up in Boulder, how can you not? And with the family that I had, being aware of all those things years before other people, the rest of the world, it seemed like caught on to it because that's what it was like growing up in Boulder. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And people say, oh, young people today, they just want to play on their phones and be on TikTok and whatever. And I disagree. I don't know where those young people are. I mean, the young people I see are passionate and they do care and they want to be involved and they're smart and they're scared.
How many workers do you have in your group that are
Well, you mean like our active volunteers?
Yeah.
Well, at least 50 just with who I manage, but they're working in all areas. They're in Africa, they're helping with social media, website, coordinating campaigns, doing all kinds of things. But then we have other people, well, Angel, you should probably tell that because there's a lot that you do, like with stuff I don't understand.
Right, yeah.
that
So
you manage.
with volunteers and the ones that I work with, I think we're in the 90s now,
90?
I think. So we're getting close to 100. So
Callum with his whole new campaign that he's started with the Human Rights Campaign, Rethinking Community, and his Gender Diversity and Inclusion Project. So he's a dynamite. Callum was on last week.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to talk about everything he does.
How many paid people are there?
none.
None. Everybody's so everybody's a volunteer in essence.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you do about this? I was reading an article in the New York Times yesterday about China. And China, even though they have the largest group of electric cars, the solar heating, and they're working on nuclear energy, they still are, I think, for the work a lot with coal. And they have the carbon footprint is more than Europe, the US, and Japan. Do you work like with governments at all, or trying to educate the leaders of the country, various countries?
Yes. So we do have some volunteers that are involved with like COP27 that's coming up. We do have one of our volunteers attending that conference. We are sending volunteers to the UN, United Nations offices in New York soon to get involved there as well. So, and Rick also started a project for a renewable energy media campaign, which is to inform the public about what's really happening with, carbon footprint, things like that. And like the commercials that you see on TV from like big oil companies and things like that. The plan would be to have advertisements, infomercials about what those corporations are actually doing, that aren't necessarily helping us, even though they like to wrap it up like they are, put a nice little bow around it and make it seem like they're doing some good. But I mean, we have to commend them for trying to make an effort, but there's so much more that we do need to do. And, just as an example, so I'm from Kentucky. I don't know if you can tell by my accent or not. Last year, we had tornadoes in December in Western Kentucky, and we lost a lot of lives. That is very unheard of here, very unusual. But I saw an upsurge in climate activists after that. So what the world wants to move towards is people activating and mobilizing before we have a disaster, before we have more disasters, not waiting until, we see a lot of people waiting until they are affected by something before they actually care. So we want to try to inspire people and get them educated, informed about what's really going on. Start caring now and not when it's a crisis.
Yeah. Did you have like political action groups? I mean, we just yesterday was the not yesterday, Tuesday was the election. Now there are people who believe in saving the planet, or that we can, and there are politicians that don't. But you have political action groups which you encourage voters to vote for the people that agree with our position.
Well, because we're a 501c3, we can't really promote any particular candidates. So what we do to work with that, we just talk about the issues that are really important and the importance of voting, so that we can have people in office that are addressing those issues. But we can't specifically suggest candidates for people to vote for. We come at it from the angle of the current issues that are going on, the global issues, and helping people get educated on how to figure out which of those candidates might be the best fit.
So we can work with the organizations that can do that.
Yes.
Certainly help promote Move On and similar organizations. And of course, as you know, Malcolm, I also volunteer with the Poor People's Campaign, and that also, Poor People's Campaign can't endorse, but we can certainly advocate and work actively with that advocacy, and in that advocacy, especially with our recent campaign to mobilize voters, low wealth voters and low propensity voters in those swing states. I like to think that some of that text banking I did paid off and helped.
And what do you do worldwide? Because I know that, especially like in Africa, I think it was Nigeria, or Somalia, where kids are starving. I mean, literally, they're dying, and because there's no water, and actually, with no water, there's no farming. I mean, all the crops are dying.
It's very hard. Well, that's where our We Can program comes in, which stands for We Change Agent Network. And it started out with one young, beautiful lady in Botswana named Angelina. And she's been with We for a long time and has organized and been able to form her organization called Unleashing the African Potential. And then from Botswana, we have other volunteers in Africa and Uganda and Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and they're amazing young people who I consider anyone younger than me to be young, but they're in their 20s and 30s, and they're activists, and they're doctors and teachers and climate activists, people helping in their communities to educate. Well, I can never remember our mantra: involve, inspire.
Inspire, inform, and involve.
Yes, that's what they do. And with our help and Robert, I can't pronounce his last name, I call him Dr. Robert, and he's in Uganda, and he's working in the refugee camps because there are people fleeing from the Congo into Uganda, and so he's there to help stitch up their wounds and their gunshot wounds, and deliver babies, and as well as help with the kids and plant fruit trees and work with the Ebola crisis, and it's just
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that for the weekend groups, just, to simplify that a little bit, what that actually is. So that's like our grassroots, boots on the ground groups. So those are, and it's not just for Africa, it's anywhere around the globe, even in the United States. We did have a couple of groups in New York at one point. So what the purpose of those groups is for people in their communities and their villages and things like that, to have the support to actively work on what's actually happening in their communities, instead of trying to do like a blanket, let's, make sure nobody's starving kind of thing. It brings it down to the grassroots level, and is, what's really happening in your community, and how can we help support those major issues going on there, so that we can help move your community forward, and make it a more specific support that we're offering around the world.
Do you, I know a lot of these, organizations that you're talking about, or these groups, generally are looking for funding, looking for donations. Do you send people that might be experts in fundraising to help them to fundraise, or to find people that would volunteer for those organizations and help them build it up on on an individual basis in different parts of the country?
Yeah, so since the weekend groups are fairly new, we're working on getting a more structured plan in place for the fundraising part of it. That'll be coming up this year. More solid, steady, stable funding for those groups. And Jenna can speak more on the volunteer side of things. But yeah, she's been able to connect them with a lot of other organizations around the globe that have the expertise that they need to bring into their communities. So it's a massive, massive network here at We the World, and we reach millions of people. We have over 40,000 partners and individuals that work with us on particular issues in certain areas, campaigns, and things like that. So it's a massive network, but yeah, that's our goal, is to bring everybody together so that we can create that massive change.
Yeah. Speaking about fundraising, is there if someone is listening to the show, watching the show, can they donate? Because you are a nonprofit organization. Where can they donate to?
Right. So for any information about We the World, the easiest thing to do is go to we.net, we.net, and you'll find everything about everything over there for the most part. We are building out some new website for the weekend groups and things like that. But yeah, that's the home base over there, to get at least the basic information and to make donations and things like that.
But our donate link is we.net, what is it called?
/donate.
How about for those who want to volunteer?
Oh, well, you can do that too. There's a volunteer tab, and then you can fill out the form directly at the website, and then I will be in contact with you. And if you don't know it, we have a lot of positions listed at Volunteer Match. I just had volunteer.match or volunteermatch.com. I'm not sure, but the point is that even if we have positions that we have posted, I will work with you to find out what you would like to do and put you. The thing is, you can do whatever you want to do, whether it's a little or a lot, and we will create a position or let you know where we have real need. It's very creative and individual, and it's all about it being a win-win situation for everybody. I am a strong believer in volunteerism. I think it's a very important part about being a good global citizen. It's even if it's with volunteerism, you can meet, satisfy a passion without it having to be the job you do for money. And there's always, always, always something that can be done. And the intrinsic value that one receives from volunteering is priceless.
Yeah, but by the way, for the people that are watching us, I just want to let you know that her name is not Rick Olfick. I don't know how we got that. There was a mix-up, but it's Jana Larson. So.
Well, it says it right there. I fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it? I didn't. Oh, I didn't even
Yeah,
notice because I can't see without my glasses. Never mind. Forget I said anything. But also,
Move along.
anybody listening and speaking about volunteers, we need volunteers who know about production, or know about Zoom casting, because this is relatively new. The show is relatively new, and we're looking for people who know what the hell they're doing, and especially people who know the social media, because I don't. I mean, I know how to put together a show. I know production, but I've always had a group of people that did it for me. I worked in a studio. I worked for, people who were making money out of this, and they supplied all the technicians. I would create the show or host a show, but I know nothing about the technical end of it. So if you
we need someone to help Malcolm figure out how to get to his email,
how to turn on the computer.
How to get through Basecamp and
Right.
how to ping and all that sort of thing. That's
without calling either of my sons. That's the only time I speak to them. It's at 28 and 26. Something goes wrong in the show. Jonathan, Joshua, how the hell do I do this? And without them, I'd be lost. But if we have some people who could volunteer, you could contact Jana, who's in charge of that.
Yes, and we have a great team already, and they're all over the world, Venezuela, or they're in the U.S. and they're from other countries, going to school and working China. I have someone who is interested right now from Germany.
Sprechen die Deutsch?
Un peu.
Please un peu. And yes, we have an international group.
Yeah.
This is only our third show, so we're in it.
Yeah, we're moving along here. And
but anyway,
you did a fantastic job.
Well, I like what Rick's theme is. It's with the fingers, which he does, and I don't know how we're going to do it's how do you make me into we.
Well, we're having an animator who's going to help us with that.
But we're trying to find out also internationally whether we can get arrested.
Is that a bad sign in any other language?
Because in different countries,
we don't want to offend. So.
In different countries, hand signals mean many different things.
Exactly.
Oh yes.
And I know basically in this country, and actually I know Italy, because there's certain things you raise that you can get arrested for because it's obscene. And we don't want to be accused of that. We have to have our research crew. In fact, we have.
Yeah, I better add that to the list.
You're right.
Send that over to Callum because he's in anthropology, so
yeah,
he can probably find out really easy for us, real quick.
We'll add that to Callum's list. As he's trying to graduate and has so many things to do, he doesn't know what to do.
But and getting back to this show, what I want this show is to be a communication arms of We the World. And
it is a communication arm.
Yeah, and Angel, if you see of anything that you want to inform us of what you're doing, or if you need help, either don't ping me.
He thinks he's pinged to death.
You can ping Jana, and she will either call or email me.
He loves to talk on the phone. Rick calls you all the he calls me all the time when he's out on his walk.
I like hearing people's reaction to what I say.
But when you were talking yesterday about in our meeting, and you were saying you like to see people's reactions,
or hear the voice.
But you can't do that on the phone.
Well, yeah, but you can hear the tones in their voice.
Oh, well, yeah, that gets a little
Well,
gruffer or something like
right,
that. Or
because sometimes I say things that sometimes
words
offend
are
people.
inserted that you hadn't expected.
Yeah, I don't monitor what I say. That's why I say
No.
that, and sometimes I could be a chauvinist, and sometimes I could be old, especially when I'm dealing with young people, I can be old world. And
I think you're fine,
I'm
Malcolm.
totally unaware of it.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say the obvious, but
Well, I
We-
think there just needs to be more understanding from the mental frameworks that everybody comes from.
well, that's the thing, and we're intergenerational and intercultural and all that. And old people can learn new things.
Actually, you don't get old until you stop learning.
That's right. And so
Oh,
just think, you're
oh,
learning how to turn your computer on
right.
and do
But
your email.
about people. I mean, the different cultures. I love meeting people from different cultures. I love the theme. We the world, because I think the world is we. It's no longer country by country.
We're a true global village.
I mean, definitely. And as soon as people learn that, I think we'll all be better off.
Just
yes.
think when Malcolm, when we were back in the old days in school taking math and chemistry without calculators, you had to be, you had to do your math with a slide rule.
I brought a
and,
computer into the first grade. Are you kidding? I'm not that old.
And now here you are, you're talking to the world.
Yeah, well, when I do that, when Ben has that meetings on Wednesday, there are people from all over the world are there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I still get a kick out of answering my cell phone and speaking to London. Someone calling me directly from London or Germany or Japan.
And you don't have to put a quota in anywhere.
No, you just make sure you have an international line that you pay for, because otherwise it can get damn expensive. Anyway, guys, you realize our half hour is up?
Oh my.
Well, we can certainly talk all day.
It wasn't too painful, was it, Angel?
Nope, it was good.
Yeah, and of course you're invited on anytime you want to say something. You're on. Plus, we could get you don't have to be on for the whole half hour. If you want to, let's say, do a 10-minute segment. Just tell Yana, and we'll include you on for the 10 minutes, so you can come in and out talking about something that you're doing that you think should be publicized. The only one that's going to be here all the time is me and Yana.
Okay.
Everybody else, or if you have suggestions, what you think we could talk about, please let her know. Because again, I know very little about your group. I mean, I know about the communications, but I know very little about the inner workings or what you guys are trying to achieve, which I'm trying to learn. Possibly in a year or two, I'll get
by then it'll be all changed. So it's just like, just when you men figure out what we women want you to do, we change it.
I never figured out what you women want me to do.
Well, and that's the secret.
I mean, I'm still, when Gloria Aldridge, sues people for something, what? Why is she doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Oh my
gosh! Well, it's usually for a good reason.
No, I mean, if I was a teenager now, I'd be in trouble. And we won't go into that now. Anyway, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Wait, we got to do our.
Oh yeah, we not.
Me.
It's from me. I got arthritic fingers. It's from.
It's from golfing too much or something.
No, from aging too much.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
you don't look too gnarly.
Anyway, guys, have a great week.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Thanks.
Bye.